What happened?
Well, you know what? It was time. I mean, the New York Giants are starting to interview people. I think they're probably going to go after a John Dorsey type of person, and I think the Browns wanted to jump in the game and make sure that they have a shot at some of the best GM types in the NFL.
So, but why would they sour on Sashi Brown? I thought this is the process that they're trusting.
Well, the process has, like you said, resulted in a 1-27 record. It has resulted in them passing on Carson Wentz, who could be the MVP this year. He's got a 10-2 record right now. They passed on Deshaun Watson. Meanwhile, the Browns are still looking for a quarterback. They're 0-12 this season, gunning for 0-16, and the plan doesn't seem to be working.
So, did we take this to mean that Hugh Jackson wasn't part of the process of skipping over Wentz and Watson?
That's correct. I wrote a story earlier this week that he actually preferred Wentz over Goff in the 2016 draft, that was his guy all the way. And the front office was really determined to turn that pick, that number 2 overall pick, into a bunch of picks and try to set this organization up for sustained success. But inadvertently, they passed on, somebody that could go down in history as being right up there with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
So, then let's walk me through this then. So back in the draft in spring of last year, as the Browns are swapping spots with the Philadelphia Eagles, Hugh Jackson's somewhere in the building saying, "Don't do it."
Well, I think he was pretty new back then. I think back then he still really, believed and trusted that Sashi Brown and Paul DePodesta and those guys, really did have a firm, sound plan, that they knew what they were doing. I don't think he realized at the time just how much that, inexperience they had in terms of just watching film and picking guys and evaluating quarterbacks. But by the time that draft was over, it was pretty evident because they picked Cody Kessler in the 3rd round. They took a lot of heat for that. They passed on Carson Wentz, and I think by the time that draft was over, the bloom was off the rose.
And Hugh didn't want Deshaun Watson, saying, "Let's take him here." He didn't want that?
Well, he liked Deshaun Watson. I don't know that he stood on the table for him at number 12, but once again, he didn't have a whole lot of control in the draft at that point, and they were determined to take that number 12 pick and turn it into another first-rounder in 2018.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.